Hey guys, what's up? My name is Art and I'm back for another video. It's Monday night, the day before Christmas Eve, and I got Christmas Eve off. So that means tomorrow I have off, which is awesome. I am right now in our basement. Where I live in my basement. I don't live in my basement. I usually film in my bedroom, but today I was doing a little project. Oh, over the week, I bought a comic book box. Some of you who collect comics know what these look. These are comic book boxes. Now, on average, these things hold about 200 and at least 250 comics. And I have a big box of comics which I forgot I had all about. And I found them. So I'm going to try to fit as much of these comics into this box. But enough of that. So, let me tell you about some things I found. Sometimes I have a comic and I know I have it, but I can't find where is it. And it drives me batty crazy, okay? I finally found this again. Fatal Attractions. What is where Wolverine got his adamantium, where Magneto just dragged the adamantium out of Wolverine, and then the next issue, then the next couple of issues, after everything settled, you find out he had bone claws. His skeleton. So that was pretty cool. I finally found this. I know I have it. My man Tony bought this recently. Bought the actual comic because he wanted a hologram. I told him I had it, but I couldn't find it, so got it. Right now it's been like going between 30 to 50 degrees, bouncing up and down, so my sinus is kind of wacky. That's why I sound kind of like this, kind of nasal. Okay, but that's okay. And I'm kind of, what I'm about to do next is kind of difficult, but I'm kind of glad I'm doing this because it's kind of cool. Okay. Now, what happened was there was this comic book company that was kind of new and they were doing good things. And what happened is they had some great artwork. And they created, it was called Archangel Studios, and they created this book called The Red Star. This is volume 2. Volume 1, number 2, number 2, number 3. And the funny thing is that's the only ones I found. If they produce anymore, I can't find them. I haven't figured out what, but it was a great story. It's like, imagine Russia in like a futuristic style era. It's kind of interesting. So I forgot who wrote it. I think these guys are Russian. Who knows? For you Star Wars fans, Dark Empire. 4 out of the 6 ones. 4 out of the 6. Can't figure out where the other 2 is, but if I find it, that'll be awesome. If I remember about the story, they found Luke's hand. The Empire found Luke's hand and made a clone. So there's an evil Luke Skywalker. Pretty funny. It's based off of a novel too. This next one is a very good book. Now, I'm going to tell you. Now, this book was kind of the oranges into this book was kind of controversial at first. And I'll explain why. As you know, like in these days, we live in a world of diversity where everything has to be diverse. You have to have a minorities or ethnic people in a show in order to make it work or whatever. And I'm like, affirmative action has to be on the forefront and everything else. Okay, fine. Which is great to a certain extent. So it goes way out of the way. So what happened was they created a universe called the Ultimate Universe, in which they tried to revamp a lot of characters. They did it before. It had mixed results. They had the biggest names in the comic book industry back in the late 90s, early 2000s to revitalize characters, and it kind of worked. And then sales dropped because they took the origin story of these characters and just totally whacked them out. So, one of the things that it was going to do in this new Ultimate Storyline universe, they was going to have Captain America become a black man. Now, what happens, like, these days, we have Twitter, we have social media. If they try to do something like this, the fans would know instantly, within hours. The fans would know this kind of stuff. Like, for example, they was talking about having Michael B. Jordan, or Michael P. Jordan, whatever his name is, becoming the next Superman. And they just toyed with the idea. And you can see the internet uproared. You can't make Superman black. But in actuality, in the DC Comics, on a different Earth, Superman was a black man. but but you see what it comes. So what happened? They decided to make Captain America black to make it interesting. Now back then, social media wasn't as strong as it is right now. But when we found out about it, it was intense. A lot of people, no, you can't do it. Me, I was like, well, if you keep the origin of Captain America and do the origin story of Captain America like normally, it would be a different spin on things. It'd be a totally different spin. The fans spoke out. And they had to drop it because the outrage is too great. So in a way, I was like, yeah, okay. Changing it was kind of an interesting idea, but it's kind of good to keep them white, I guess. I don't know. Then they had the idea of making Nick Fury black and make him look like Samuel Jackson. And guess what? People like that idea. But anyway, so they took that idea and they kept it. And this writer called Robert Morales created a storyline. 7 issues of the storyline. It's called Truth. Red, white, and black. There's 7 issues. I got doubles of number 1. I know I have number 1 somewhere. Don't know where it is. But as you see, it ties in the story of Captain America. Now, here's the thing. Now, why would you make a story like that? Does it make sense? And it does. Back in the early parts of American history, during our dark times, there was this thing called the Tuskegee Experiment, where they took a bunch of white prisoners and some black men and gave them syphilis. The funny thing was, they told the white men that they was going to do this, and they were like, but they said, we'll give you the cure. The black man said, oh, we just give you the shot to help you feel better. Some shit like that. So what happens to the white prisoners? After they contracted it, the white prisoners, they gave them the penicillin to clear it up. The black men just let it run its course. Hence the reason why how you know what syphilis does to your body. That's kind of fucked up. By today's standards, that's fucked up. But back then, that was normal. So what happened is, so you take a soldier, you take this formula that can turn people into super soldiers. They tested on some black men first. And then when they refine it, they give it to Steve Rogers. Hence that whole bunch of black Captain Americans fighting in World War II. It's a very good storyline. Now what ties it into the Captain America mythos is at the end, you see Captain America right here searching for something. He finds this guy who was a Nazi war criminal who had one of the original shields that these guys had and gave it to the widow. Classic. It's a 7-part story, and it's very, very good. I love that story. If I could find the other parts to it, that'd be awesome. But it's a good read, in my opinion. Especially, it's funny. Next, I want to show you Uncanny X-Men 161. I bought this when I was in high school. I lost it. Found it for $3. And as you see, it's Professor Xavier and Magneto fighting against Hydra. So this is a old war story kind of thing. And X-Men 201. This is the fight between Storm and Cyclops to see who leads the X-Men. Hint: Storm leads the X-Men. This next book right here is called Little White Mouse, and it's signed by the creator, Paul Sizer. What happened was, when I was at Western Michigan University, he attended Western Michigan University. He still lives in Kalamazoo. He still lives in that area, married, and he still does graphic design. He does graphic design for local businesses, and he's a DJ. But this is the comic book he created, because it was a strip in a newspaper, in our college newspaper. It was a strip. And what happened was, after a while, he said comics. So I'm gonna send a picture of this to him on Facebook and say, "Hey, remember this?" It's funny because we had a big conversation about it, and he didn't. And the funny thing, he's like, "Oh, I know you, because we pass each other in the hallways a lot at the student organizations." It was part of a student. We were both part of student organizations, and we both pass each other in the halls all the time, but we didn't know who each other was. Oh boy. That's funny. This next book is something I'm going to recommend if you haven't read it already. It's from the ill-fated Max storyline, where it was more gruesome. It was like rated R. It's called Born. Now, most people don't understand. Okay, this right here is the origin of Frank Castle, who becomes the Punisher. Now, some people say, well, his origin story is he took his family up to the park, and two rival gangs, mafias, was fighting each other, and they shoot out, and they all got killed. Yeah, that is the truth. But this is the story with him being in Vietnam. And I believe there's 4 to 6 parts to it. I know I have 4 of them. I have 4. And it was written by Garth Ennis, who's if you know anything about Garth Ennis, you know he's a great writer. He created the comic book Preacher, and of course the TV show from AMC, Preacher, was based off of that, his comic. My man Tony, for Dynamite K100, he bought like almost 50 issues of The Punisher, which is the Garth Ennis storyline. So when he gets a chance to read that, he's gonna love it. And he's a great writer too. So with that in mind, that's all I have for today. Hope you have a great day, and I'm going to try to do another video soon, hopefully tomorrow during Christmas Eve, in which I tell you about my views about Christmas. Or I might do it on Christmas Day, who knows. But anyway, have a great night or day, or whatever you're doing, and I'll be in my little dungeon here for a while.